Once you've completed your background and you're happy with it, the next stage is the grouting. What I use for grouting is this stuff. Oh, there you go. It's home-based, multi-purpose, ready-made grout, and this is used for bathroom tiling, any sort of tiling. Let me open it up for you so you can have a look. A lot of people make their own. They buy like the powdered stuff and make their own grout mix, but I'm lazy. But there you go, that's the inside of the bucket, and as you can see it's a bit sloppy and that lot, but that's what I use. I mean, you can use it neat, yeah, you can use it like this, but as well, what I found is, it's with this sort of viv, it's a bit tricky to get your fingers and that lot inside the gaps. So what I did was, I got about 2 or 3 scoops of this stuff and mixed it with some water until it was like a liquid sort of consistence, and then used some brushes and brushed it on again and again and again. And obviously in between each time I used a fan to help dry it out. Obviously it dries out a lot quicker, so after, I don't know, an hour you can put on your next layer, and then a layer again and a layer again. Obviously people say, how many layers do you put on? Well, that varies on what background you're making. I mean, normally on a viv background, excuse me, I'll put on maybe 3, 4. I think the most I put on a viv is about 5. Obviously the more you put on, the better, the more strength it will have. You'll find that some people don't put on enough, and they probably put on 1 or 2 layers, then the paint and the varnish, and it will just break up because it's not strong enough. So yeah, that's what you do. You're just going with a brush. I'll show you as well how to make the mix. Now, as for brushes, I've learnt this is my lesson learnt. Don't get any cheap ass brushes. Okay, what will happen is the bristles come off the brushes and then they stick onto your nice rocky feature and what have you. If you can, get some nice soft bristle brushes, nothing stiff. This is my collection of brushes in here, but see, that one too stiff, so I dumped that one. What you want is something nice and soft, yeah, that's what you want, because it's going to spread it easier, it's going to get into all the little knots and crannies easier, and plus you don't get flickering. What I mean by flickering, you don't get grout flickering everywhere on where you don't want it to. And obviously if you can't reach places with a thicker brush, use a tiny small brush. It's like your little artist brush that you can get in shops for like £1 for a big set. Obviously you'll need an old spoon, yeah, one that obviously you're not going to use for food consumption again. Get an old sort of container, yeah. I borrowed this from the kids, it's fine, they don't mind. And what you want to do is, it's a bit like porridge, yeah. What you want to do is put about, I mean it depends how much you're going to use, but I mean I'm just, you know, showing you how to do it. So I'll put in 2, yeah. But normally I'll probably put in about 5 or 6 scoops of this stuff. Close this up. Always make sure you seal your tub of grout properly, otherwise it will dry out and you'll end up with a big lump of hard grout. Okay, get your jug of water. Actually, it's probably better if I put this on here so you can see better. Now only put in a tiny bit of water at a time, yeah, because what would happen is it will end up like slop. Now if you make it too runny, you can add a bit more grout, yeah, from the tub. So you can't, literally you cannot go wrong with this. So you want to mix it really well. Yeah, this is how it looks so far. And that's still a bit lumpy. There we go. Right, add a bit more water in. Again, this is just like making porridge. It's don't put too much water in at one time. Just put a little bit, give it a stir. Put in a little bit more, give it a stir. Need a little bit more. I think that might do it, but let's give it a mix and see how it looks. Yeah, I feel like Delia Smith. There we go. That is perfect. You see, it's all runny. Here we go. Yeah. So you get a good look. And that's the way you want it. And then basically what you'll do is you'll get your brush and you'll just brush it all in. To the Viv. And then what I normally do is to speed things up, I get the fan onto it and that dries it up a lot quicker. And obviously you can put another layer in. And then another layer. And another layer. And then, once you're satisfied with your background, and the way it looks and you think it doesn't need grouting anymore, what you can do is add some paint. Now, depending on what colour you want, I used, what paint did I use? I used, what is it, transparent, there we go, transparent red oxide paint. If I lift up the camera a bit, there we go. That's what I used, auto air colour, but you can use any household paint, any sort of household paint you can use, but that's what I use there. And what I did was I just literally squirted this into the grout. Oh, it's going in. Squirted this into the grout, gave it a good stir, and then put some more in, gave it a stir until I was satisfied with the colour. Now the best thing about this stuff is that at the end, when it's all dry, it leaves like a patchy sort of look, which is great because as you know, rocks, they're not all one solid colour, they're all different, they're all lighter and darker shaded, and that's what you want really. Obviously that had a couple of layers. Of that paint, and then my husband, who is an airbrush artist, obviously got this and used it neat in an airbrush and darkened up some areas. Which gave it a great effect.